This is Jorge, and you are in No Land for Lazy Chefs.
Okay, Fideuá, I'll let you know what the origins and the history of that. First of all, I just want to show you the ingredients. I have everything prepared, so it shouldn't be more than 30 minutes from now, from this second, until I finish. So, guys, I have to move my iPad, which is where I'm transmitting from, a little bit. So, buckle up a little bit. Wait a second. There we go. Okay, there it is. And now I turn my camera to the other side. Well, of course, it is like a paella-like dish. We need the paella pan. Look at the size of my hand. Okay, this is like about, I would say, 9 inches wide, something like that. And this is supposed to be for two. Of course, they are bigger. I am lucky enough to have these rings with a big one in the center, so it's perfect for any size of paella pan. Of course, we're gonna need the noodles. This is just noodles. I mean, in Europe, we classify them by numbers. This is vermicelli pasta number 4. Okay, this is exactly the one that you need. This is some fish stock, which I'll let you know later on because we're going to be cooking and we need some time to cook the things when they are all together. And I will let you know also how that was made. Of course, we're going to need some tomato and small pepper. Look at the size of my fist and look at the size of the tomato. So it's really small because we're cooking only for 2 tonight. And this is just half of a big pepper. So it's a medium-sized pepper and a tomato. I'm going to put tomato or tomato. I'm going to put it away because I have already blended both things raw together. And this is the preparation. Okay, so this is exactly what I've used, of course, already made. Also, we're going to need some mussels. We're going to need some prawns, which are here. This is some fish that I have taken the liberty to add tonight, which is desalted codfish, not fresh fish, fresh codfish, desalted. Okay, and here are the prawns. These are some red peppers. Are going to be just at the fine length for some decorations. This is some wedges of lemon, of course, and these are the spices I'm going to use. Look, this is over here a little bit of paprika. It's like a half a coffee spoon. This is half a coffee spoon of cumin, grounded cumin. And this is powdered saffron, which I will enhance it with real saffron, which is this jar that I have here. And of course, some olive oil. Okay, so let's start the preparation. So let's start. And the gas is on. I am very lucky to have gas here because I prefer that to electric. So the amount of oil that I'm going to put in there is going to be like about, I would say, like 1.5 ounces of olive oil. So what I'm going to do right now is the sofrito, which is the tomato and pepper blended all together. I'm going to put it inside. There we go. And of course, we have to wait a little bit until the heat goes up. Now, you're going to tell me about all the meaty part, like the prawns, the fish, and also the mussels, when it is added, etc., etc. I have a little trick for that, which I'll let you know later on. Okay, let's start a little bit with the history of the Fideuá. Fideuá, as Rainer said earlier, is typical from Catalonia, but also from the southern part of Catalonia, which is a different region called Valencia, that has another 3 provinces. And in fact, the real origins of this plate, Fideuá, is from a little town, like about, I would say, an hour south of the city of Valencia. The name of the city of the town is Gandia, Gandia. And it's from the 1930s. Believe it or not, he was a chef in one of those fish and chips that he decided to change the paella recipe. By the way, Valencia is also the home of the paella. He decided to change the rice for pasta noodles. And they were all so impressed, all the sailors, It was a word of mouth that became so popular, and it spread it all along that coastline from, let's say, the south of Valencia on the Mediterranean Riviera up to the border with France. And in Catalonia, it's very common to find it. Also in Valencia, but in Valencia, because it's the home of the paella, they go more for the rice. But also, you can find the Fideuá in many places. So I don't know if you can hear the cracking of the sofrito. And well, let me tell you as well about the fish stock that I have here. Okay, well, let me show you something, which is this. Obviously, the langostinos, the big prawns I have here, they were in a shell. We all know that, right? With a head included. So what did I do? I peeled them raw, and all the shells and including the heads, they are stir fried with a little bit of olive oil and like about, I would say, a third of a pint, a third of a pint in water. First stir fried, and then added a little bit of water, and you just boil them for about 10 minutes. And all the peelings together with the liquid, you process them. And then what you do is with a bowl like this, and a sieve like that, you put everything in here and just press it. My trick to press and get all the liquid out of all that is just a glass. Just press, 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 and this is the result. This is the fish stock, well, shellfish stock that you get. It won't be enough for what we're cooking here, but I will tell you that with a little bit of water is more than enough. Also, we probably have to add a little bit of salt. But let's go here step by step because I'm smelling that this sofrito, which is what we're doing now, is almost done. Yes, it is. And now is the moment when we add the spices. Let me remind you, a little bit of half a coffee spoon of paprika, cumin. This is my special touch, okay? Cumin and powdered saffron, which I will add real saffron at the same time. So all this is going to go in here, inside of the pan. Just stir this a little bit. Right. Oops. Oh my goodness. What a mess. You see? Live things. What happens? All right. There we go. Just adding a little bit of thyme here just to make sure that all the spices are melted with this. Now, this is the moment when I add the pasta noodles. Just make it evenly like this, not all together in one bunch, because you're not going to stir it much. All you want to do is to make sure that the vermicelli pasta gets soaked into the stock. Okay? So this is more or less how it's going. Could anyone tell me if you can see kind of well-ish what I'm doing?
Yeah, we can see you.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Thank you.
Good. Smells good too.
Thank you. You perceive the smell, right? Oh God, it's hot. Yeah. Okay. So now we just wait for just a couple of minutes. I mean, don't mix it like that. Don't stir very, very heavily. Just a little bit, just to make sure that the pasta noodles are soaking all the stock that we have inside of the pan. And this is the moment when we add the stock, the shellfish stock. There we go. Okay. And now you're going to say, oh, wait a minute. What about with all the chunky things and the fish, mussels, etc.? This is what I wanted to tell you. This is my personal trick because if you put everything now in there, it's okay. Nothing happens regarding the flavor. it's going to be exactly the same. But if you put it now at the very end, it will be overcooked, and the shrimps or the prawns will shrink a lot. So halfway the process, which will take from now on like about once the thing is boiling, it's gonna take like about 10 minutes with the pasta noodles, no more than that. Rice is a bit more. Rice could be like about 15 minutes, 17 minutes, depending on the rice that you're using. But in this one, halfway through the process, I'm looking at the time now, is when I add absolutely everything. And you're gonna see the look of it when it's done. So let me just see how this is going. This is going perfect and it's boiling. Yep, it is good. And as Rainer mentioned at the very beginning of this broadcast, before Tim, my colleague, started talking about his tour, he mentioned that very briefly. And one of the things that I'm going to add the saffron now. Look, I will tell you about Rainer in a second. This is the saffron I'm using, Spanish saffron, the best in the world, of course. So I'm adding like I would say, like a very generous pinch of that, of saffron. Okay, there you go. And here we go. That's it. Good. As Rainer mentioned very briefly, we are thinking about maybe next year in the fall. We don't know yet. We have to talk and discuss about it. Maybe a tour of Catalonia. And oh, look what I have here. Sounds familiar? Yeah, it is. We have two Costco's here, and this is not improvised. This is in purpose. Look, this is my card. Okay, my Costco card. I have to tell you, one of the things that I have my Costco card is I live on my own and have a family, so I don't go there and buy big things. But there are certain things that I love to buy there. First is the gasoline. It's really cheap. So it's like about 10 minutes driving from where I live. So every time I have to fill the tank, I go there. And second, like things, I don't know, just for a moment, like the eye drops, natural or artificial tears. And I buy like about a box that lasts me for 1 year. Also deodorant, believe it or not, the big boxes of deodorant, it gets like half the price in a regular store here. But mainly it's because of the gas. Just with a couple of times that I fill up the tank of my car in Costco, is paid my annual membership. By the way, here is 45 euros. I don't know how much in the United States right now, but that's what it costs. Okay, so I'm just looking at the time, and yes, we need to add a little bit more water, as I told you from the very beginning. I'm just going to, and so in total, liquid, including the stock that I added earlier, and this one is like about 3 cups in liquid. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait for about a minute or so until everything starts boiling again. Yeah. Well, right now I know you were kind of kidding me earlier when you said that it was a good smell too, but it's really good, the smell now. The way it's getting here. Okay, now it's boiling. Now is the moment when I add all the fish. And as I told you, this is the salted codfish. And I'm going to do exactly the same as I did with the pasta, because you're not going to stir everything. So you're going to spread the fish just like that. Okay. Bits here and there. There you go. And now is when we are going to add the prawns as well. So for this one, I've got 10 prawns, 10 big ones. There we go. I'm just trying to make it pretty. Okay, at the end of the of the cooking process, I'm going to try my best. I kind of promise you mashed. I have a little bit of stage fright, honestly, and I get really nervous just before I triple check absolutely everything. And well, now the mussels. One mussel there, you just try to bury them a little bit. Okay, let's continue with that. Righty. There is one thing that I wanted to mention. Now there is a big thing going on all over Europe regarding the farmers, and it's mainly the farmers, but also the products that they are importing from outside of the United Union, of the European Union, sorry. And I always go and buy, because I live in a neighborhood of, it's a working class neighborhood, okay, not far from the city center of Madrid, like about 35 minutes on foot. But I do buying local. I have my fishmonger, I have my butcher, I have my place where I go and buy all the veggies and fruits in small shops. I don't like going to big supermarkets or big chains unless they have an incredible good offer and I go buy something, just to stock. But I like just to, how can I say, just to promote local businesses. And then, as I was telling you, there's a big thing going on all over Europe about farmers just going with their tractors into the cities and just to have them heard, by the local governments. So that's one of the big things, and that's why I always buy my food locally in my neighborhood, because there are people that instead of being a big chain, I told you before, they have millions and millions, and they can survive with the people that go there. At least in these kind of neighborhoods, these people have been here for decades, and most of them, especially after the pandemic, they've lost a lot of customers and they had to close. So that's one of the things that I like to. And I'm saying all that because all these the fish I bought it at my local fishmonger, which is just 2 blocks up the street where I live, and uh, he said to me, "Are you gonna do one of those cooking shows as well?" And I said, "Yeah," because he knows me and I know that. And then he said, "Well, okay, good. Can I attend?" I said, "Well, it's gonna be in English now. Forget it. They don't speak in English." Okay, guys, I just want to show you again. I'm gonna be very extra careful right now, just to make sure that I'm not touching what I don't have to touch. Okay, I just want to let you see how it's going. And can you see how the muscles now are opening? You see them? And the prawns are still there. So what I'm gonna, well, still there, of course, they cannot go anywhere. But what I mean is that they're not starting to shrink. They're starting to change color at this moment. So let me just cover this for about 5 more minutes. Here we are. And once the final result is done, I'm gonna have a little try. Maybe you get a little bit, mouth watering, but I have prepared something for that time about the cooking, and it's one of my cooking tips. I mean, if you go into my cooking channel in YouTube, excuse me, that is called No Spaces Altogether, No Land for Lazy Chefs. I repeat it, No Land for Lazy Chefs. You will see, not many things because it's still a very young channel. And I don't want to overdo it, but I will have tips and tricks and also some cooking things. So I have prepared for this broadcast, something which I do myself. Listen, guys, you have a lot of tricks and things. I mean, if you are a chef, if you cook, let me show you a little bit how my spices pantry look like. Okay, so there's one thing. Hello, Paul. How are you doing? I'm a little leprechaun. There's one thing that I do myself, which is garlic salt. Okay, I mean those are things that you might need to go to a very specific place. Like I don't know if they sell them in small sizes in Costco. Probably it's a big jar, but in Trader Joe's, I know you can find them, but you don't have to go there and buy them. So look, if you keep all the garlic peelings, if you cook and you like garlic, and you keep them and you store them in a dry and dark place, and you just put them like this in this little blender jar, which I'm going to do right now, just like this. Let's push it inside. Here we go. Okay. Now, salt, regular salt. These are 2 ounces of salt. Okay, so I'm gonna put everything here. Okay, let me just close this. I'm just gonna check my. Oh, wow, that smells good too. So here we have the garlic peelings and the salt. Let me just plug my blender. It's gonna be a bit noisy now. I cannot help it. Okay, but you just watch for 30 seconds. Take it out and shake it a little bit.
Jorge, there was a question. Are the garlic skins in there?
Yeah, it's just garlic skins. Yeah, the garlic peelings. Yeah, not the garlic, just garlic peelings. Okay,
Great, thanks.
and oh my God, look at this. You see, no peelings, just the garlic is very faint because it's being blended. Okay, and just the salt. Sorry, and the garlic peelings is just blended with the salt. So, guys, it's not for saving money. It's just for homemade things. Okay, that's the point. So now I have a lot of garlic salt here for my next cooking. Well, this is smelling great, and oh my goodness, this is almost ready. This is almost ready. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. So, chicos, everybody, please buckle up again because you cannot miss this. You cannot miss this. Let me just get this again. All right, let's go. Here we go. Look how it looks. All the muscles are there. They are not shrunk. And look at the prawns, the size of them. They haven't shrunk at all. And it is almost done. The moment that little bit of broth that we can see over there has disappeared is when it's done. And yes, let me put this again in here. Sorry about this roller coaster effect. I'm sorry. Alrighty. Okay, see. Yes, very good again. Well, I can tell that this is almost, oh yeah, almost done. So you see that in half an hour in total, if you have everything ready, is cooked. So, this is a very important thing. Once it's done, guys, this is a cotton cloth. Okay, well, by the color of this, you probably say, "Oh, he also goes to IKEA." Yes, it's an IKEA thing. I think this is a global thing. This this pattern. All right, just turning the gas off and just cover it with a cotton cloth for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna get my plate. I'm gonna have it ready here. I have these red peppers. What I'm going to do is once the 3, 4, 5 minutes that we need for this to finish cooking, the gas is off already. Is I'm gonna do one thing, and that thing is, of course, with this kind of thing, you need white wine. This is just a regular verdejo. Let me just toast for all of you. Thank you for staying here. We're not going yet. I'm just toasting, okay, just for you. Tim, you were with a beer the other day, so don't complain. Oh, look at you. Great. Wait a minute. Nice. Okay. I don't want to be nosy, but and the slices of lemon. So what I wanna do is just in a couple of minutes, I just want to uncover And I want to put the wedges of lemon and brown it, also the red pepper, and just for you, if you want to take a screenshot, just to see how beautiful it looks, especially when you have kids and you can with the pan out. You know, this is a very nice way to present it. And I can tell you the total cost of this, including the prawns and the fish, probably is I would say no more than 12 and to 13 euros, because shellfish, you know, normally is a bit overpriced all the time, and also the prawns, the mussels, sorry, and the codfish. Codfish is not a cheap thing here in Spain. Codfish, it comes from the 12th and 13th century, that became very famous to preserve it when they were catching it in North Atlantic. And what they did is just to preserve it. Obviously, no coolers in those days. They used to use sea salt. And so they opened the cod, you know, like fillet it without the skin, without the bone, and then put a layer of salt, then a layer of codfish fillets, and just like that, like a lasagna type thing. And that was an excellent way to preserve the cod. So when you have to cook that cod, what you do is you have to rehydrate the thing. And how do you do it? It depends on the size and how thick are the loins. That's how we call the fillet of cod, loins of cod. Depending how thick it is. If it is like the thickest one, which is like about 3 inches, that could be like about 50 hours dissolving and changing the water every 8 hours. This is just a loin about the other day, and I have had it dissolved for 46 hours in total. Okay, so every 8 hours you just change the water, and I just have made it in chunks, and it looks beautiful. Yep, here we are. And now, just let me place this. This is just for decoration purposes, right? What I'm going to do right now. And the pepper, the red pepper, just to add a little bit of color. And if you are not buckled up yet, just start buckling up again, because we're going to have another journey above my Fideuá. Let me just clean my hands. Look, buckle up, guys. Here we go again. Okay, let me see if I can touch the right button. Here it is. Yeah. Look, isn't it pretty? Come on, guys. And yummy as well. Yeah, smells delicious. Okay, I'm just holding it here in case you want to take a screenshot. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's go back again to this ugly face that you can see right now. Okay, chicos. So look, this is what I'm going to do right now. And it's going to be very, very hot, but just only because of you. Oh, good, excellent. I'm going to show you something that I don't normally get it in when I do the paella, because I'm a little bit scared and afraid of doing it. And the same as in the rice, there is a part that those foodie people they want, which is the lower part of the pan that gets kind of burned, and it's called socarrat. That is with the paella, the rice. The same thing with the pasta noodles, but you have to be really careful. I have to tell you, this wasn't done on purpose, but you probably can see here the plate of Fideuá, Fideua. Can you see besides the mussels? Can you see there is a kind of a burnt thing in here? This is absolutely delicious. Seriously. When you go to a restaurant, to a real paella restaurant, and you tell them, could you please make it with a little bit of socarrat? Socarrat. That's a word, socarrat. That means a burnt bottom. uh, they freak out because it's not really easy. Always very, very experimented chefs can make it in purpose. As I said, this wasn't in purpose, to be honest. But anyway, just because of you are here, I'm gonna try. It's a little bit hot, I think. Mm. Oh my goodness. So sorry. Wow.
Jorge, that
Ooh,
looks so good.
it's beautiful. Oh my
Amazing.
goodness. I wish you'd be here now just to try it.
Oh.
I'm surprised at myself. Seriously. And look, this prawn looks absolutely. You see, if you had placed the prawns at the very beginning when it was boiling everything all together, the prawns could probably go this, I mean, half of this size. And when you do it halfway through, it is cooked. It's just al dente, what it would say, and it's just beautiful. And of course, this being a fish dish, you should go with some wine. Salud, chicos.
Oh, amazing, Jorge.
So what time are you arriving, all of you?
Jorge, I don't think you made enough for all of us.
Well, yes, I need to try. It's a tapa.
Yeah.
It's a
Hey,
tapa thing.
Jorge, do you have any specific wines that you would recommend? Any Spanish whites that would go well with Fideuá?
Yeah, actually, there is one called, I know they're producing that wine also in the Napa Valley in California, which is called Albarino, Albarino. The N with a little apostrophe on top, right? Albarino. They're trying to make it big, but they're not there. They're on the way. Okay. And yeah, Albarino is a good one, but also what I'm taking right now, just a regular Verdejo wine is perfect. Also, Sauvignon Blanc goes very well with it. Any kind of white, which is kind of dry-ish. And if it is fruitish, it should be dry, not sweet. I personally don't like sweet wine. Excuse me. But this is just a preference, okay? And my taste buds, they don't stand sweet white wines. Red wines, sweets like port or uh, sherry wine, that's beautiful. I love them. But in white, I don't like sweets at all. So here it is. And you will have a Fideuá tasting as well, together with many other things, if that tour of Catalonia comes up. So, Rainer, we need to talk about it. Okay?
Oh, we absolutely do. Absolutely do. There's so much to Catalonia. It's such a fascinating place.
Yeah, it is.
It's in Spain, and that would be amazing to do, Jorge. So we should get that going. There's lots of
Mhm.
places to be around, Barcelona as well. I know Catalonia is much bigger than just Barcelona.
That's
So,
right. Yeah.
so
Let me say, Rainer, if you allow me, that me together with Francisco, my partner in crime in this endeavor that we both are in together. By the way, he's now with his logo, Pamplona Fiesta. Um, we both have a podcast called Spanish Loops. We made a program, Rainer, you and I, together with those who attended the broadcast about podcasting. So Spanish Loops, we do city specials, and also my tours are there. All you have to do is the Spanish Loop podcast. Make that search on Google, and you also have city specials. You also have cooking specialities of some places as well. And also, we have another podcast about wines. And this week, the last program that was released on Wednesday, that's the day that we normally um, release the podcast because it was the Oscars last week. Is dedicated this last program to our most international movie director, which is called Pedro Almodovar. I'm pretty sure that most of you have heard about him with his hilarious movies that he's done. Anyway, chicos, on my side, I want to say thank you for staying there. Thank you for attending this little cooking show. Thank you, guys.
brilliant, Jorge. That was amazing. Fantastic job. What a wonderful thing. This is something that Jorge just sort of whipped up in half an hour or so. But this would be a great Sunday night dinner to make for family or friends, to invite people over. It's a very social dish, right? You get everybody diving in and serving themselves, getting something. Also a good summertime dish, I think, when it's
Oh
warm.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah, so wonderful. And Jorge, you are a man of many talents: podcasting, demonstrations, YouTube channels. He does great online lectures, and he leads amazing tours. Jorge is a city guide in Madrid, but he also does extended tours of multi days, guiding tours for Europe, guided by. And it would just be a pleasure to be on your tour, Jorge.
Thank you.
I appreciate your very many talents. Thank you for sharing this with us. Well
Thank
done.
you for hosting me.
All right. Any questions from the audience for Jorge?
Yes, please. Questions, please, 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 please.
Jorge, can you make this dish with chorizo or chicken like you could at traditional paella?
Trina, you know I
Not
love you.
both, not both. I know that you.
I know I love you. I know I love you. But if I ever heard that you put chorizo in a paella, you get in my black book. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. I thought we weren't supposed to put both, but we could put.
No, that is a sacrilege. That is a sacrilege.
Okay.
Look, I have to tell you, one thing is a paella, which the real paella has nothing to do with what everybody has in mind. It is done with fava beans, green string beans, rabbit, and rice. That is the real paella. Now, there's so many variations, and especially coming from the eastern part of the country, from Valencia. Obviously, it's by the water, and the seafood around that area and all the Mediterranean Rivera is really good. It's very, very good. So what happens is that when we think of the word paella, there's a picture that comes to our mind, okay, which is with seafood, and you can make it the mixed one, which is just chicken and seafood, which I'm not very fond of it, and then the chorizo thing. No, no way, Jose. I'm sorry, but you can do rice with chorizo, so it's not called paella, because I have to tell you, paella is not. Imagine what we have cooked in here is just with regular rice, and you call it paella. No, paella is the name of the pan. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That is the paella. So when you go to Valencia, for instance, which is the home of the paella, they will tell you, oh, if you order a paella, you say, oh, you mean rice in paella? Which kind of ricey paella you want? And then you say seafood, shellfish, chicken, mix, whatever. But paella is the name of a pan. But it has been distorted with the time that the paella is the name of the dish. But anyway, this is a fight that is already lost. So we know when we say paella, we know exactly what we want. And I just heard, I read very briefly someone that made a question about who taught me how to cook. Is that right, Rainer?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, cooking is one of my passions, but it was indulged to me by my mother. When I was 12, and there is a chapter in Spanish Loops that we talk about Francisco, about himself. And I mean, I interview him and he interviews me. There's two different chapters. So if you hear the podcast, you're gonna know me better. Even now that you have face to Jorge or traveling with Jorge, as I say here, and also guided by with Rainer. Um, my father died when I was 12, and my mother, she was blind. She was blind since the moment I was born. I mean, she was blind before, I'm sorry. But from the moment I was born, I grew up with a blind person. But believe it or not, she was the one who taught me how to cook. When my father died, all my siblings, they were married and living their lives. And I am 14 years apart from the third one and the fourth. Okay, so I mean 12 years, being 12 years old today is not the same as it was in the middle of the 70s. Then 12 years old kid was still a kid. Now 12 years old is more than a teenager. Let's put it that way. So she was the one at that time who taught me how to cook. And she really taught me a lot of secrets and a lot of, how can I say, little tricks. I mean, this garlic salt, this is a recipe that, I mean, we all know that exists because you see it in the shelves, in the markets, in the supermarkets, buy it. And it's, excuse me, it's really nice. But you have to think also the situation I'm going to place you, which is Spain under a dictatorship in the 40s, which is just after the Spanish Civil War. Spain did not participate in World War II. The Civil War ended in 1939. A few years later, my mother and dad, they met and they married. So imagine a country into a dictatorship, you know, like, I don't know, imagine like Cuba. We couldn't export, we couldn't import absolutely anything. So imagination is you know comes immediately. So I remember that my father. I mean, I was really little, but I remember when he gave my mother as a present. I can't remember if it was Christmas or the Three Wise Men, which is when we celebrate giving gifts to the others. One of those electric blenders, the originals ones, which we never had the vast ones. We had always these ones, and three, you know what I'm talking about, because you have one of these, okay, which is an immersion blender, okay? So I remember that, and then my mother just simply had the idea of, like, why not? I don't know if she heard it somewhere or what, and why not blending the garlic peelings with salt? And then when we add salt, it's got the garlic flavor. So I got this from my mother. And then it became fashionable in the supermarkets. I'm not saying my mother was the inventor of that. Probably she heard that from somewhere. But you know, those are the skills of my cooking. And also I like inviting friends as well, making some tests now and again with the people that I invite here at home. And up to now, no one has placed me in their blacklist. So that means something as well. But thank you for asking. Thank you so much for asking. So, well, chicos, I mean, if you have any more questions, I'll be pleased to answer them. And if you don't, I just want to thank you so much for attending this show. Thanks especially to Rainer for hosting this broadcast. And here I am. For whenever you need me, just send me a message. Okay.
Hey, if folks want to get the recipe, I provided your email address there. Are you able to send along a recipe with proportions and whatnot?
Thank you for saying that, Rainer. Actually, I think it was like about 2.5 months ago, just after Christmas, I uploaded the paella recipe on exactly the same what I've done now on my No Land for Lazy Chefs video YouTube channel. So it's there. No Land for Lazy Chefs. All together, no, not spaces. If you don't mind to type that on the
Yes.
chat box, please.
I got that. I got that on there. Yeah, just if you scroll back, folks, back through the comments about halfway through, is a link to Jorge's YouTube channel, No Land for Lazy Chefs.
Correct. The only thing you have to do is just change the rice for the pasta noodles. And there's another thing you have to keep in mind. Instead of 15 minutes or 17 minutes, like it's the rice, just like about 8-10 minutes is the most. But of course, if you send me an email asking me, please give me the recipe, I will do it with all my pleasure. I will do a template in a Word document and I will copy and paste for everybody.
Right.
Okay.
Nice. Awesome.
Thank you.
And so many great little tips there. I appreciate the garlic skins and the salt, and taking us on a little tour of your cupboard, your spice cupboard. That was cool. Really interesting. Really interesting. I appreciate that you go, to the local little independent vendors for.
Yeah, I normally do that all the time because
Yeah.
yeah, I mean
But
the
they
big
do a lot of
chains,
talk,
the big chains always will have their customers.
yes.
Local businesses depends on the neighborhood people that they live, where they live. So they are for whenever you need. And if you get a little bit confident with them and you become a regular customer, they know you a little bit. Like I told you, this fishmonger that he told me, "Are you gonna do one of those show cookings again?" So they get to know you a little bit. There's a little bit of confidence in that kind of relationship, if you want to call it that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Jorge.
Thank you.
Thanks
Salud.
for attending.